Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Disney slash movies from the 2010s month. And tonight we have a doozy. This is a 1994 remake that Disney made. I didn't know this was a remake when I saw this as a kid. I think this is one of the most underrated sports films that Disney's ever made, and it's a movie with a lot of heart, and that is Angels in the Outfield. A flat out wonderful movie. I agree with that. From Gene Shalit from the Today Show. Funny and irresistible, a dream of a hit, the movie Minute. I agree with that too. That's a really good, you know, quote there. And I like this movie. I think this movie. I saw the original a couple years ago. It was a black and white movie, and it wasn't. It was a sports film, but it was different because in this version, Al, the angel, played by the great Christopher Lloyd, he comes to a kid and nobody can see him but uh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's a kid in this movie. He's the little boy right here. This is years. This is around the time that before he got casted in Third Rock from the Sun, and then he did big movies like Inception and 50-50 and The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, that's the same little boy. That look at his face. That was him. This has a hell of a cast for a Disney movie. Has a really good cast, and there's a lot of young Oscar-nominated actors in this movie. Um, from back in the 90s. And this is before they got their Oscar nods. But in the original, it's basically a man that listens to an angel's voice from like up above, and he doesn't, and he tells him, "Oh, I can help you win." Basically, the premise is that Danny Glover, who's fantastic in this movie because he plays an asshole coach, but later on he discovers that there's more to his team than just failure. There's actually potential, and then his attitude changes on life. It's kind of like the Grinch, but in a sports movie. Tony Danza's great. I've always liked him in Who's the Boss. I think he was hilarious, a really good actor. I like seeing his face on screen. You have this little black kid. I don't know his name, but he's really cute in the movie. This also has. I'm not bullshitting you. This movie has a young, unknown Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey did this movie. This is years before he won his Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club, before he did action movies, before he did Interstellar with Christopher Nolan. It's amazing. Two actors in this movie worked with Christopher Nolan years later. That's amazing. And also it has a young Adrian Brody who won an Oscar for The Pianist. Who I give him credit for that. He has a big nose, but I think he's a good actor when you give him the right script. I don't buy him in Predators, but here he's fine. He's the nerdy guy. Emmeline is a good actor. I like that he can really act, especially dramatic wise. He can really pull the all the stops. And the religious subtext, that the angels basically come from heaven and help out the California Angels. It's not pretentious. It's a fun movie. They do it in a fun way. They don't beat an agenda over people's heads. This is before Disney had agendas. And I love the score in this movie. The score is amazing. It's really, really sweet. It reminds me of a John Williams score. It's very subtle. And that's what the film is. It's subtle and it's a feel good movie. A lot of these sports movies from back in the 90s and the 2000s and the early 2010s are very dark in tone, and usually somebody dies. There's some dramatic moments in this film, like when Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character Roger, his father doesn't want him anymore. He wants to give him up for adoption, and it's sad, because that happens to a lot of families. Luckily, I've had my parents for all my life, so I'm very lucky. But I feel for Roger's character, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's very cute in this movie. I didn't know it was him until I was like, hey, yeah, that's the kid that would become a great actor in the 90s and in the 2000s and onward. And for a remake, it doesn't feel like a remake. It does its own thing from the original. It's got a bigger budget. It's in color. I think the actors are much better. I mean, like I said, Tony Danza plays a guy that has like a disease and he's gonna die like after the season's over. But they don't do it in a way that's gonna feel sad. It's like, no, he's going to a better place. But he doesn't die at the end, which is great, because I like to see him happy. The ending is predictable. It's every Disney movie has done like a predictable ending. I've never seen the sequels, Angels in the Infield and Angels in the End Zone. I've never seen those, but I have seen this one, and this is the one I like the most. I don't think this film needed sequels because Angels in the Outfield, it did what it did for 1994. It was a really fun movie. It's 103 minutes, so it's not too long. It doesn't drag on for like 2 hours because a lot of sports movies are like that. And there's no features on this DVD, which is a shame. I would have liked a commentary. You got J.O. Sanders. He plays the douchebag guy on the radio, that does the play-by-play of the baseball teams when they go at it. They have fun sports stuff like "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I've heard that in so many shows and movies in the past couple of years. And it's a good looking movie. I think the film still holds up for 1994. It looks a lot better than a lot of sports films that have come out in like the last 5 or 10 years. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'd rather see this than Creed. Creed was some overrated Rocky spinoff that was not needed. No one asked for that, and it got tons of praise in box office. I think this is better, in my opinion. I think this has more heart to it. It's got a better cast. I'm not nothing against Michael B. Jordan. He's a good actor, but I prefer this. I mean, Disney knows how to touch at your heartstrings, especially the ending, which I don't want to spoil if you haven't seen this, but it's got a lot of heartfelt moments. I think Danny Glover does a really good performance. I see him in this, and then I seen him in Gone Fishing and Operation Dumbo Drop, and of course the Lethal Weapon films. He's really good in those films. He's a good actor, and yes, he kicked the Predator's ass in Predator 2. So screw the haters. But it's a fun movie. I forgot that I had this movie on DVD. I wanted to review it. It is a Disney film. There's a Walt Disney seal of approval, so just to make sure, because it's not from the 2010s. So, but the Angels win the pennant at the end of the movie, and that's predictable. Roger has a adoptive, I guess not mother, but like a nanny, played by Brenda Fricker. She was the old pigeon lady from Home Alone 2. She's a good actress. She's here, she's Irish, but she does a good job here. She has a subtle performance, and the film doesn't beat you over the head. It does what it does. It is what it is, and it has a really good cast. I like seeing the young John, Matthew McConaughey and Adrian Brody and even Joseph Gordon-Levitt, because we could never fathom that some of these guys would be up for Oscars, and Oscars that were well deserved. Not this La La Land bullshit that we get that it's just, oh, it's a pretentious art house flick. No, not for me. I'd rather see actors that I care about giving a performance of a lifetime. Or like even The Revenant, like that DiCaprio, he finally won an Oscar after so many years and he was well deserved. Here, a lot of these actors got nominations for Oscars and some of them won it and they deserved it. Nowadays, it's hard to fathom that because the Oscars are very biased. But this Oscars aside, this is a good movie. I think it's a good sports film. It's a family movie. They curse a couple of times, but it's nothing. They don't say the F word, so it's safe for your kids. If they've seen Deadpool, then this is a breeze. And it's funny at times. I like Christopher Lloyd. He just said the special effects are not that bad in the film when the Angels show up and help the team. Now the California Angels are the Anaheim Angels in California, so yeah. And I like this film. I know a lot of critics said that this was garbage, but it's not realistic. It's a baseball team that's struggling that Danny Glover just wants them to win at least once, and then here, his prayers are answered, and he's finally winning, and he doesn't know. He's like, "What? This team can't win," and it's because of Joseph Gordon-Levitt's prayer in the beginning of the film. But it's not done over your head. It's not. This is not a message movie or a faith-based movie like freaking Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ridge, whatever, or freaking Silence. No, those movies are not for me. I'm sorry. When it's just faith-based and it's beating you over the head with an agenda, that's not for me. I'd rather have some fun with a movie that has a subtext of that, but it's not shoved down your face, and it doesn't have agendas, and there's no strong female in this movie. You can say Brenda Fricker's character is strong, but she's not like she's not a hot chick. She's an older lady, but the performances are good. It's a good looking movie. It's got a great score. The sports, I'm not a sports fan anymore, but I do like this film for what it is, and it's a film that it makes you feel good at the end. And I love the last line of the movie: "We're always watching, even though you can't see us. We're always watching." I like that. That's good to know, and it makes me happy to review this movie, especially since it's been too long since I talked about this film, and it's fun. It's not Oscar worthy, but the actors that were in it are, in my opinion. So that's Angels in the Outfield. Problems with the film: there are some jokes that don't work anymore. There's some characters that are just thrown in there. Like there's a lot of the secondary cast that are not famous that play the baseball players. Some of them are kind of forgettable. I mean, Neil Madonna's in it, but he's a comic relief, and he's done some bad movies, but he's not the worst actor. He's doing great in Arrow. I think he's great as Damien Dark. I know everybody shits on him for like Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun Li and I Know Who Killed Me, but he's come a long way since that. Here, he's goofy, but he's there. The two Spanish guys, they're there. The fat guy, I like him. Whatchamacallit, Tony Longo, I believe he is. He was in That's So Raven and a bunch of other stuff. He's a good actor. I miss him. Rest in peace, Tony Longo. You were a good actor. And it was a fun movie. Like I really want to see this movie again. It's been too long, and it makes you feel good. I like seeing a sports movie that doesn't bum me out, like the first Rocky movie. That movie is a powerful sports movie, and it works both as a sports film and a drama, and so does this. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching my videos. It's been a rough week. I mean, I lost 2 pounds, so I'm getting there. I need to lose weight because my sister's birthday's coming up. I want to live to see that. I want to show you guys my pictures on Facebook on the 28th or the 29th. And I won't be doing a video on the 28th. So just to let you guys know, I need to rest up for the day ahead. But the next couple of days, I'll be giving you reviews. And watch Angels in the Outfield. If you haven't seen this, see it. I would recommend this remake. This is a remake that doesn't suck ass, and it's different than the original, which was a 50s black and white movie that I've never heard of until I did my research. But thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.